Hello! So this month I really didn't read a lot, but I read well. All of 3 books, but they're all Agatha Christie, so I am very pleased about that. So yeah, this was not a good reading month. My ability to focus was not there, but again, Agatha Christie to the rescue, so I am so grateful that I fell into the trap of collecting and reading her entire series. That has saved my reading this month. So I didn't go into a complete slump. I didn't read all the books that I was intending to, but at least I read these 3 and I'm gonna tell you about them. And try not to go into spoiler territory, even though it's really tempting. But, and you know, even though these books are over a century old, so but still there's always new readers. Anyway, I'm done rambling. The first book that I finished with Agatha Christie, or by Agatha Christie, is The Big Four. It's a Peril book, and it's a thriller, basically. Like, so it does start with a person dying in Poirot's rooms. How do I talk about this book without spoiling? Because I keep running my mouth when I talk about books. So The Big Four is about Poirot and Hastings. Their realization that Peril has stumbled upon a plot by the Big Four, who are aiming to take over the world. And it does run on rather stereotypes, like it was in England well over a century ago. I do try to keep that in mind, but there were still scenes in this book, or you know, just flashes where I went like, got rather uncomfortable, but again, keeping our salt. So, the Big Four are a criminal organization. The number 1 is a Chinaman who is a big brain. He is the one behind everything. And we never meet him. That's the thing, we never meet him. Number 2 is that the rich American? Yeah, that would be the rich American. Number 3 is a brilliant French scientist, a woman. And number 4 is an Englishman who is a genius at disguises and a killer. He is the assassin of the group. The thing that does irk me, or you know, pins me quite a few times, is how the depiction of Chinese people in this book isn't very positive. Like, even though the most brilliant person here is Chinese, the actual Chinese people portrayed, or the characters portrayed in this story, really rubbed me off the wrong way. So it is still a very interesting book to read. I did enjoy reading it, particularly because at one point Poirot dies and we get to know his brother, and it's a whole plot thing. It's like, you need to read this. Just, you know, bear in mind that the stereotyping of Chinese people is probably going to throw you off a little bit, so do keep that in mind. I do still need to recommend this book because I had fun reading it, and it did help me get out of a reading slump. Next book, The Mystery of the Blue Train. I really enjoyed this book, particularly because it's another of the train books that there's, what, like 2 or 3 or something? No, I think like 3, at least 2 books that are focused on trains. And This was really, really fun. Probably felt more sympathy for the murdered character than probably was intended. I absolutely detested the victim's husband because he is a hypocrite. A little bit in the spoiled territory, not too much, but the husband is an entitled Englishman who marries a rich American heiress, and they've been married for like 10 years. He's keeping a friend's mistress, and the wife is like thinking about divorcing him because he's not being discreet with his affair. He's not really hiding it that he's having an affair with a friend's dancer. The husband is such a hypocrite. He's like, yeah, I married this woman for money. She's marrying me for the land and title. He's keeping a friend's mistress who is upfront with the fact that, I mean, she is a luxury if you can afford, and if he doesn't have money, like, she's fond of him, but she needs the mullah. And when the mistress tells the husband that you do realize that your wife has been in love with another man before, he gets upset. This character, like, I enjoyed hating on him. Like, he's cheating on his wife, who he doesn't even respect. He doesn't love her, but at the mere idea that she was once in love with another man, and he gets upset over it. He's not even in love with her, and he's like, she doesn't love me. But dude. So yeah, I don't care, really, throughout. I did not care if the husband was the one who did it or not. I just enjoyed hating him, and I did not enjoy because I did not want this character to have a happy ending. Let's just say that. I would not have minded if he was the one who did it. Didn't care throughout. I just wanted him to be miserable. And I really enjoyed it. It's like I have not been fired up by a character like that for, I feel like, quite a bit. And the last book that I did read is Peril at End House. And again, I did know the ending of this book, so it was spoiled for me because I've been watching the series for years and years. Absolutely. If you haven't watched it, like, I need to remember who is the actor who plays Peril, because I need to recommend those series. They are fantastic. But Peril at End House, it's just the twists and turns, and I do not again, with the side characters, I did not enjoy the main characters' friends, because they weren't really her friends. They literally are like, well, basically just using each other. And so yet again, I felt sorry for the main character, who I probably should not have felt sorry for, but I'm still like, this person is surrounded by shitty people, so I kinda do feel sorry for her. Try not to spoil things, but this story... Wait, did I even tell you what the Blue Train is about? It's about... well, it's about murder of this rich American heiress called Ruth Catherine, who is found dead on board the luxurious Blue Train. And the main suspect is her estranged husband. And of course, Poirot is not convinced that it's the husband, even though there are very, very, very heavy clues, and he was on board the train, and he was in the air. He was very close, but so was his mistress. And the main character, who we actually follow, is a lovely, lovely young lady who comes into inheritance, and so decides to go travel and kinda is also would be a very, very good suspect. Let's just say I like the story. I really liked it. I just didn't like the husband. I enjoyed hating him. Parallel End House is, again, a horror story. These were all horror stories. There's a lot of them. And it starts with Poirot and Hastings enjoying the sun and the quiet of a hotel where they're staying. They are in the area of End House, and the mistress of End House, the young Nick Buckley, is suffering from really, really bad luck. And it turns out that, as Poirot points out, someone is obviously trying to kill her. And the twist and the turns and just the story itself is like I knew the ending, but how we got there was so really interesting. And even though I knew from the get-go who the culprit was, just seeing how everything was done and how the characters are portrayed, it was so fascinating. I have to give it to Christie, like, the characters who are either the victims or the suspects or the criminals, so many of them are so interesting and so fleshed out and so believable, and I do admit that quite a few of them I probably should not feel sorry for or empathize with, but I do. So yeah, these are the 3 books that I did manage to read now in July. Did not read half as much as I was aiming to. My reading files has about the same amount of books. But I mean, some months you just read less, but that doesn't mean that the quality is less. I am happy with the fact that I have managed to finish 3 more of the Christie books, because I have quite a few to read, and my goal is that when I've finished like 3/4 or more of the Christie books that I have, then I'm allowed to buy the ones that are sitting in my basket. So that this is getting me closer to that goal, to spend more money on books that I don't really need, but I want them because it's Agatha Christie. So I am still happy with it. These are really, really interesting, and they did spark some ideas of mine. Like, that's the thing that I love about reading books, is when you are reading and you maybe hit a scene or a comment or just a certain event, and your brain just, at least my brain does, your brain just goes off in a completely different direction, and suddenly you have a completely different story forming in your brain. So it's so nice also to have a notebook by the side and jot that down and try to continue reading, rein your brain in and read. So yeah, I did get quite a few ideas out of these books. I enjoyed reading Christie. So yeah, that is enough for me this time. Hopefully there are some other videos on this channel that you would enjoy watching. I do try to do a book haul regularly. Well, that was the plan, to do that in tidy little segments. That failed. So definitely, I mean, this type of video is monthly. I do try to keep up with my reading list every month. The book hauls will probably return in October. Yeah, because I bought way too many books, way more than I intended, so oops. I do also have a series where I'm rereading the entire Discworld series, the entire 41 books. I am behind it. I am planning for August to be the month where I catch up with myself. This summer just wasn't it. Yeah, I do have some other videos planned as well, doing with reading. I don't want to talk about those because I haven't been keeping up with my own ideas and plans. So, but again, thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you in another video of mine, and take care. Let's bless.